Preparing to live stream. All right. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Just living life, Kev.
Living the dream.
Football's
Living
back in full swing. Life's good.
Life's good. Yeah, man. So Justin, we don't know where he is. He's like the world's worst communicator when it comes down to things that matter. And we have no idea where he is.
Brains are dull.
What just happened?
NFL.com just screamed at me. I'm so sorry. It was horrifying.
Sounded like a ghost.
I was looking up the upcoming schedule and it just started yelling at me.
Yeah, man, I have no idea. It's so he's not here, so this is going to be a much more efficient use of our time, I feel.
With less editing needed,
because no editing needed because you're an adult. So we got a couple fun things to talk about. Also, sorry for the delay in casting here. We kind of got off on a weird stretch of not doing anything again. But MJ's been awesome. If you've been following our Instagram, he's been keeping up to date there. Justin has not done anything on Twitter, so I'm going to take that over again because, again, we can't rely on Justin.
But, Kev, I need to be honest with the people. I did post a fake story.
But it's totally real.
It's so true. If they interviewed Trevor Lawrence, he'd absolutely say that.
Yeah.
I'm standing by that he said that to someone and it came from someone else.
Guaranteed. Bleacher Report got it, and they were just like, wait.
Like, Kev, can you imagine if Joe Burrow had that option last year? He's not going to the Bengals.
Why would you?
No.
I mean, yeah. And we're going to get into that. But actually, let's start with that. Screw it.
Okay.
The idea of, I don't think if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I don't think I'm going to want to go into the draft if the Jets are picking number one, which of course they will be. They are just the worst. There's also, do the Jets even go QB? Do they give up on Sam Darnold and go there, or do they fill the other million problems that are in their organization right now?
I don't think Sam Darnold's the problem. I mean, he's shown you he can play, but there's no talent around him whatsoever. The fact that they let Le'Veon Bell, I mean, there's a couple reasons why they let him go, but the fact that they're willing to eat $6 million to let him leave the team shows you the dysfunction. Still don't understand how Adam Gase has a job. I don't get it. The players, they don't like him. I mean, that's very evident. So I don't think you give up on Darnold yet, man. I don't.
I've never had a problem with Darnold. In fact, there were rumors going around of the Steelers making a move to make him like the backup and the heir apparent to Roethlisberger when he retires. I wouldn't mind that. Give the kid a shot.
That's not a bad idea at all.
No,
man.
Not at all.
Because honestly, I mean, the Steelers have been playing great, but after watching last week, I think Ben's the same point in his career that Tom Brady's in. They're going to have a couple big games where they flash, but game manager, don't turn the ball over, make the right plays. You don't need to throw for 300-400 yards. Just get the ball where it needs to be. Your defense is good enough, and you're going to win.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep him safe in the pocket, just like Brady, and I mean, that's kind of been Brady's problem when he gets hit. And I mean, that's been his problem his whole career. When he gets rushed or anything, he throws pretty bad. But Ben is still trying to shrug off everybody, and it's like, dude, I don't want to see you destroy your elbow again when we desperately need you. It's amazing the difference this team. Not much of this team has changed except for the addition of Chase Claypool and Ben coming back. So the fact that he's
and
here.
Your backups are
worst in football. Such garbage.
But Darnold's facing the same problem, Kev. He's running for his life. Yep. Last year he got mono, right? So he missed part of the year. Yeah, right. That was last year. So he hasn't had a full season. I don't think Gase is coaching him correctly at all. I think there's a ton of upside to him, and to give up on him that quickly when the rest of your team is terrible, even let's say Trevor Lawrence went there and they took him, you're bringing Trevor Lawrence into a horrible situation anyway.
For sure.
He's do you win a couple more games? Maybe, but who's he throwing the ball to? Who's he handing the ball to? I mean, this is no knock on Frank Gore, but Frank Gore's getting that many touches now.
Old Man River.
I think he was here when they started football, but
my dude is extra old.
I don't think you give up on Darnold yet, man. I feel sad, really sorry for the Jets, and it shows that a lot of these college quarterbacks, if they had the opportunity, like Lawrence does, to not go into the draft, I wouldn't. He's in a great spot at Clemson. I think they have a. I mean, watching Bama, they're good, but I don't think they're Clemson good.
No.
And I think he has the ability to win, if not one more title, two more titles at Clemson.
Yeah, for
Why
sure.
not?
I think so too. I mean, and he's obviously, I mean, Clemson's the class of the ACC forever. So it's like,
oh man, I bet the over on them last week and they covered it by themselves.
Clemson is in such a good spot being in the ACC. It's craziness. But
it's like it's nuts, man.
Like I look at poor Mizzou sitting in the SEC. I'm like, I'd love to play in the ACC so much.
But dude, big win against LSU.
Big win against LSU, dude. Columbia was on fire 2 weeks ago. Oh my gosh, it was pandemonium out here.
You do realize it took a force of nature to get that game moved, so you guys had a chance,
dude. Just the fact that Mizzou held them on the goal line for 4 downs and then ended the game on a goal line swat was just incredible. I mean, what a great way for Drinkwitz to get his first win in Columbia. They have Kentucky this weekend. I might go to the game. I'm not sure. It's homecoming. I don't know if I want to be around all those people. I guess we'll find out. But
Kev, how at the game, how do they have you guys set up?
From what I've seen,
are you like stripes or you're cross?
It's kind of a mixture where they have like it's very staggered, like windowed almost, like going up.
Okay.
But the only problem is on the hill seating. So when you sit on the grass hill, they've like spray painted little boxes for like groups to sit in. But once they swatted that ball, it was just like, people are just running and tackling.
It's any live sport event I've watched, whether it's football, baseball, NASCAR, whatever it may. Like NASCAR, as soon as there's a wreck by the grandstands, everyone goes down to see the wreck.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's
or in Philly, if there's a fight, we'll figure out how to get together and fight.
I mean, take a look at the Eagles game this past week. Philadelphia fans not disappointing, fighting themselves because that's what they do in the stands during a pandemic. You go, Philly. Never change, buddy. Never change.
We never will. Don't worry.
Oh man, that was such a great video. I'm so glad that Barstool Sportsbook is out of Philly right now because we get such an extra glimpse of Philadelphia sports antics, and it's pretty great.
It's fantastic.
To our point that we started with, I don't know how we got the Philadelphia fans fighting, but I think anything could take us there. I agree. Sam Darnold should be given a fair shake. But speaking of another quarterback that I think didn't get a fair shake this past week, Ryan Fitzpatrick getting benched for Tua Tagovailoa. I think that is beyond stupid. I talked to my brother who's a diehard Dolphins fan. None of us can wrap our heads around the fact that Fitz is playing a great year again. Why you don't need to, the Dolphins are actually in the division race. Why are you messing with this? Don't mess with the kids' confidence. I don't get it. And by the way, I don't know if you've seen any of Fitz's comments. That dude is like super depressed now from this. It's bad.
He found out via social media.
Yeah, that's
like they didn't even call him.
That's so Bush League.
They didn't even call. And at the beginning of the season, he goes, "I know I'm here to be a backup. Like I get that. I'm here to educate and coach." But the guy takes you off, and also with Tua, we're less than a year from his basically could have been a career-ending injury.
Yeah.
What's the point of putting him in? Let him sit there until you absolutely need him. Like the Chargers.
Right.
Herbert had to go.
Yeah.
And he had to go in. Yeah. But Tua, man, I would keep running him through practice. Let him learn the playbook. Let him get more comfortable. And if he sits the whole year, who cares?
Yeah.
You have a good it's not like you guys are losing it's not like you're the Giants right now. Like, honestly,
you're 3-3. You're second in the AFC East. The Patriots are not that great. It's just so frustrating. I mean, the Jets are going to stay in dead last. You're just fighting.
I feel horrible for him, man.
But
horrible for. And you know what? Of most teams I've seen where he's had the Fitzmagic runs, everyone likes him.
He's such
no one has anything bad to say about him.
He always gets the guys together. I mean, he's great. He's like the journeyman you would want on your team. But that's just so frustrating. And I don't want to see like the Brown syndrome happen where Tua gets in there and just has a stretch of bad games and then his confidence is completely screwed early on in his career. I think it's terrible. I mean, take a look at Baker. I think Baker's just a mess. In
no,
Cleveland.
he's had what three head coaches in 4 years, or 4 head coaches in 4 years. He's had 4 different offensive coordinators.
Yeah, they haven't given him an opportunity.
Like, there's no consistency there. There's no consistency there.
There never has been in Cleveland. You know, it's so funny to me, and I say it every season. People are like, Cleveland on paper, Cleveland on paper. They got the talent. They've got, Cleveland on paper, Cleveland on paper. Guess what? This past week could have been the first time, but it wasn't. Could have been the first time since 2003. That is 17 years that they won at Heinz Field. Big Ben has never lost to the Browns at Heinz Field, and he plays them every season. I mean, come on now.
You can say the same thing about the Cowboys. Look at them on paper. Nobody's talking about how horrible the Cowboys' offensive line are.
Dude, tremendously bad.
And I think what killed the Browns, too, going into the Steelers game, man, losing Chubb was massive.
I think so, too.
When they're running the ball well, everything else. And I've said this before. I'm going to stick by saying this. Trading for OBJ, the worst decision they could have ever made. They should have traded for more linemen.
I think so, too. You didn't need – Jarvis Landry could easily be your number one. You don't need to get OBJ. And, I mean, absolutely, build up that O-line, protect Baker, allow him to make plays because, I mean, he can, but he's also not being given – I mean, take a look at the pounding he took – the week before the Steelers, which hurt his ribs. Then he comes into the Steelers game facing like the number one rush defense. So they're going to bring the blitz. They tackled him, rushed him, pounded him into the ground, ended up leaving in the late in the third quarter, I think, because, I mean, how much can you take? He's over on the sideline breathing, and he's like, ow, ow, ow. Like, he can't breathe.
No, you can't keep getting sacked like that. That's insane.
Yeah.
I think by trade, and also what killed him last year was he was trying to force the ball to OBJ because we all know that if he doesn't get his way, he can freak out. Like 1 week he's like, oh, I'm for the team, blah, blah, blah. And then last week watching him on the sideline, he's like slamming stuff and getting all mad. It's like, dude, either you're for the team or you're not. I still think they should got rid of him because another thing, Hooper, why are they not getting the ball to him more? What's going on there? You have like a top 3 tight end.
Dallas, since we're recapping the NFL right now, McCarthy is getting the exact same complaints that he got as the coach in Green Bay. Inconsistency, lack of planning, they're not coaching well, and it's starting to become internal leaks. Like we've seen it with teams before where when they start performing bad, you start to really see the internal turmoil come out. And that's what's happening in Dallas right now. And people are complaining that the coaching staff is not prepared. They're not coaching well. They're not doing the right things.
You can argue against that. They said that about the last coach. So at some point, the players have to take some responsibility here.
I would agree.
What players are complaining? Is it the same ones that complained about Jason Garrett?
Of course, it's anonymous.
Yeah,
of course.
But it's at some point the player. Like I was listening early today on Undisputed. They were talking about even if the coach is terrible, if he's telling you have to stay in the A gap. And contain. You need to be there.
Yeah.
If you still have to do your job, and Jerry Jones has overpaid so many defensive players that are not living up to their contract.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah. So I mean, overall state of the NFL, it's been an odd season, especially with some of the COVID cancellations, reschedules, all of that. But currently, I mean, you've got. Which teams are left undefeated? The Steelers, the Seahawks, and
Titans. You guys play the Titans this weekend.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be a really telling game for both teams this coming week with Pittsburgh and Tennessee. And then the week after that, Pittsburgh goes and plays Baltimore on the road. So that's a tough 2-week span. We're going to see
I'm not living up to the Baltimore hype at all.
I'm honestly not either. It's more so the fact that we always have tough AFC North battles. But yeah, I don't know, man. I can't give a clear front runner for either yet. I think the Chiefs were exposed and their loss to the Raiders. There's not a clear number one for me in either the AFC or the NFC. I mean, maybe the Seahawks, you could make that argument, but I also feel like their defense isn't elite. So it's Tampa Bay's defense.
Russell Wilson makes up for a lot of that.
Well, yeah, that guy's a stud. But we'll get into that with our let's go ahead and do our game pick since we're on the NFL here.
All right.
Let's give our weekly picks here. I'm on NFL.com.
Just read them. I can see them too. I'm on ESPN because
right.
NFL.com shouted at me. It was horrifying. I hate when that happens.
Let's see here. Week 7. Holy crap, we're in week 7. Wow, Thursday night football. That's going to be a barn burner. The New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. Good Lord. Can we just not watch that game?
I'm always one to preach that you bet the over, but I don't think they clear 45
Not on
points.
this game. What is the over on this?
45.
Yeah, I don't think they're clearing the over.
I think Philly wins it. I'm going like 17-13.
Yeah, I think Philadelphia wins this game too. Steelers at Titans. This is going to be one of the games of the week here. Here's the thing. The Titans, I mean, Tannehill's been playing a lot better this season, but still that team revolves around Derrick Henry. Steelers are coming into this with like the best rush defense. I think that might be enough to give them a 3-point edge in this, so I'm going to roll with Pittsburgh.
Over under's 50. I'm definitely taking the over on that.
Yep.
And the Tennessee's favored -1.
Wow.
You know what? I'm going to take I'm going to take the Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers. I think they win this game by a field goal or less.
Yeah, that's what I think it could be a last-second thing. Cowboys at football team. That'll never not be funny.
I don't think the Cowboys win this game. Actually,
I don't either.
I think
the Cowboys. Washington. I think Alex Smith. I think he's going to be starting, unless.
Also, that is Chase Young back? Yeah. No.
I don't know.
If Chase Young is back, Cowboys are in so much trouble. That offensive line couldn't stop anything.
No, I'm going with the football team here. I think they got their.
You know what? I will take the football team as well.
Bills at Jets. Obviously, the Jets. I mean, they've just come into this with such momentum. It's crazy.
The Bills are favored by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Bills, please. Bills, thank you.
And I'm going to take the over. Over 45.
Yeah, let's give our over-unders too. That's good. Yeah, I'll take the over there too. Panthers at Saints. Saints, because the Panthers are wildly inconsistent.
Yeah, I'm going to go Saints as well.
What's the over-under on this?
51.
I'm going to go, ooh.
You always bet the over, Kevin. You always bet the over. I told Justin that. He didn't listen.
I know you always bet the over, but that's a weird one. I could see that being the under, but I'll go over. Packers and Texans. I'm going Green Bay here.
Yeah. It's only 3.5. You know what? I'm going Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers has a bounce back game. Yeah, over under 57. Over under 57. I'm going to take the under on that one.
Yeah, me too. Browns at Bengals. Gross. Give me the Browns in this game. Even if Baker doesn't start, they'll win.
I'm going to take the Bengals. I think the Browns start their skid now, and the Bengals showed a lot last week. I mean, they blew a 21-point lead, but still, I think that's not on the offense.
They truly did. What's the over-under there?
50.5.
Under.
I'm going over.
Wow. All right.
I'm going to say over enough that an Overs Club jacket will be sent to me.
Yeah. Lions and Falcons. Gross. Well, Matty Patty's on the hot seat, so he knows he has to keep winning football games. So I'm going to go Detroit here.
I'm going Detroit just because if the rumors are true that they are shopping Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, what's the point to keep trying? Also, I'm going to take the Lions over and under is 55. I don't see them eclipsing that.
Yeah, it's going to be the under.
Yeah.
Seahawks, Cardinals. This will be a good game. I think Seahawks get their first loss. The Cardinals are wily. They just have.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, they just have this crazy fast offense. Kyler Murray looks great. I'm going to go Arizona here.
Yep, I'll take Arizona as well. Over under is 56.5.
Over.
I'm going way over on that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely
I
over.
think this game is a 37-30, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Jags and Chargers. Give me the Chargers here. I'm a big fan of Justin Herbert. He doesn't have much of a supporting cast, but I like what he's able to do. Having Eckler out definitely hurts, but they're better than Gardner Minshew and the Jags.
Yep, I'll take the Chargers as well. The Jags have shown absolutely nothing. They've shown they're just as good as the Jets. Over under is 49. I will take the under because the last time I bet the Jags for the over, they did nothing.
Yeah, under for sure.
I missed it. In fact, it was them versus the Texans that messed it all up. Them versus the Texans messed it all up.
Yeah. 49ers and Pats here. I'm going with, oh boy.
I'm going Niners.
I'm going Pats here only because the Niners have been a really hard team to understand. I think Cam Newton has a bounce back game. And I think the Patriots can pull this out, but it's not going to be a pretty one.
I'm doing Niners, and over under is 43.5. I will take the over.
Yeah, same.
And I will say this now. I think Kittle gets in the end zone twice.
Oh, all right. Chiefs and Broncos. Yeah, Chiefs for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a rivalry game, but it really doesn't matter much. Especially with they are having limited capacity at Mile High, but doesn't matter. Chiefs.
Yep, Chiefs. I'm taking them as well. Broncos don't have anything to compete with the Chiefs. And I think since they brought in Le'Veon Bell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I believe I said that right.
Dude, he's amazing.
He's been playing out of his, last game. He's like, no, I'm the starter, and here's why I'm the starter. And I think that continues. Over under is 46. I will take the over on that.
Yeah, same. Buccaneers and Raiders. So the battle of the Gruden teams.
This is going to be a good game.
This is going to be a very good game. And I am rolling with the Raiders here. I like what the Raiders showed us, especially in that win against Kansas City a few weeks ago. I'm going to roll with Gruden here, the Gruden Grinders.
I am also taking the Raiders. I don't think the Bucs are first off, they're 1-2 on the road, so that's against them. And I think
their
the Raiders
defense is crazy good though, so the Raiders are going to have to be careful with the ball.
So we'll see about but if Jacobs has a good game, they win the game.
Yeah, dude, they go with him for sure.
Over under is 52.5. I will take the over.
Yeah,
bet it heavy.
Monday Night Football, the 5-1 Bears at the 4-2 Rams. Give me Chicago in this game.
I'm rolling with Nicky boy. Let's do this.
Yeah. Saint Nick is back. I'm rolling with him. He's really stepped in, and he's had some old Nick Foles games, but he's also had some clutch ones.
He's not a bona fide starter. I can say that
to get the job done.
He's game manager, man. That's what some teams just need. They have the talent everywhere else.
Yep.
So over under is 44.5. Over under is 44.5. I will take the under.
I'll take the over on this one.
I think there's going to be a lot of defense in this game, Kev.
I think there will be too, but I also think there's going to be a lot of defense in the Steelers-Titans game. I don't know. Anyway, so those are our picks this week. I wish that we had 2 Monday night games every week. We need to just make that a thing. Get rid of Thursday night football. Give us 2 games.
Dude, that was awesome. It was so great. So 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Loved it.
Very much loved it. Let's stay on the topic of football here before we get into the NHL and NBA. The Big Ten, MJ, your boys are coming back. The Nittany Lions going to take the field again. You're going to see Ohio State back, Michigan, all these big teams from the Big Ten. Do you think that this shakes up the standings a lot or a little?
I think it shakes it up in one of 2 ways. A, I think Ohio State beats Nebraska, so they're going to stay right at number 5. If they convincingly beat Nebraska, I think they jump. I think the big ones to watch are going to be Penn State to see how they play. Losing Micah Parsons was massive for our defense. They are favored to win that game, but if they do lose, I think it drops them well out of the top 15 because they have been staying at number 8 due to not being playing any games. I think that's been very nice, but if they lose this or it's close, I think they drop because there are a lot of good teams behind them.
Yeah. There was a really interesting article on CBS Sports that came out about overrated and underrated for the 2020 Big Ten Outlook. They're saying the top 2 most overrated teams are Michigan and Iowa. And the most
Michigan's always overrated
are Indiana and Minnesota.
I would agree with that. Definitely the
Minnesota is always such an interesting team.
Dude, last year they missed being in the Big Ten championship by 1 game.
Yeah, they have a really solid
program.
They had
so many big wins last year.
Yeah. Where do you think your boys fall?
I think we are definitely I would say we're the 3rd best team in the Big Ten.
I would
Ohio State, I think, is far above us, especially with us just losing our running back. That's massive.
Dude, that's really painful. And I honestly don't think I agree that they're far above Penn State, but I also don't think that they're not able to be eclipsed. I think Penn State could give them a good run, but
Ohio State, man, it's going to happen this year. They always lose to somebody they're not supposed to lose to.
Right.
Last year, I think it happened twice, right?
Yeah.
No, twice. Yeah. So they don't play consistently. They play down to the level of the team they're playing. But right. I think the 2nd best team in the Big Ten right now is Wisconsin. They're always consistent. They're always good. I think Penn State sits nicely in there at number 3. And I think what we're going to see this year, Michigan I don't think they're going to do that well. I think this might be Harbaugh's last year. And I think Minnesota will surprise a lot of people, finish 3rd or 4th in the Big Ten. And I think they will finish in the top 15.
I would agree with that. I do think Minnesota is the sleeper team in the Big Ten that could make a top 25 for sure national ranking. They just have, the Big Ten is going to shake up the standings a bit here, but it's just good to have these power conferences finally back in full swing. The SEC's been back for a few weeks. Big Ten's coming back. It's what we've needed.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So it's some good stuff.
Holy crap. Coastal Carolina's 4-0. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Right. Big Ten football back this weekend. It's going to be some good games. Who does Penn State have? I didn't even look at the schedule.
Indiana.
One of the.
They're favored by 6.5.
Yeah. Where's it at?
Indiana, I think. Let me hold on. Okay. I feel like I just saw it, but let me confirm that. Big Ten. Penn State at Indiana. Yep.
All right. Well, moving over into the NBA, MJ wanted to give our way early NBA championship picks for the 2021 season set to start in January. Currently, the top 5 teams by the odds are the Lakers, Clippers, Bucks, Warriors, and Nets. MJ, who is your champion?
I think the Lakers are 1 player away from being a super team. And I think they pick up that player in free agency this year, so I will take the Lakers to win it back. I think the Clippers still have problems internally. Like, players don't like the treatment that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard got. And I think that'll carry over until next season. The Bucks, depends on what they do in free agency. But they definitely need to put some more talent around Giannis. The Warriors, let's see what they do with I think they have the 2nd pick in the draft and in free agency. I mean, they're going to be competitive, don't get me wrong, but if they were to have a 7-game series with the Lakers, who guards Anthony Davis and who guards LeBron James? They need to hit every 3 they put up if that's how it's going to go. Yeah. And then the Nets, man, just like every team when they get together like that, it takes a year to get stuff working. I'm sorry. We've seen this with almost every powerhouse team that's gotten together like that.
The benefit for the Nets is the East is always substantially weaker than the West.
Yep.
So the Nets might make a push for at least the Eastern Conference bid, but the Heat are still going to be around. Jimmy Butler's, did he sign a 1-year deal with the Heat? He's 4. Okay. Yeah. Then, no. They're going to be just fine.
Yeah, and the Heat are also a team, I think, that you're going to have your rookies a little more seasoned.
I think
Bam's healthy, Dragic
solid star away from making.
They're a big man away from being good.
Dude, get Giannis.
They get Giannis. They get Giannis. Oh boy!
I think it's a Lakers Heat rematch if they get Giannis. But I'm also going with the Lakers in the sense of what they have right now. without any movement going on, I do think the Lakers still have the most complete team in basketball. I do agree with you about the Nets and the fact that it will take a year or so to get online, but at the same time, these guys have at least been in the organization together for a year. So who knows what kind of team camaraderie and stuff they've built up. But
that's true. And again, a thing that scares me at the Nets, they're one injury away from being below 500.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Durant goes down, it's done. Kyrie can't carry that team.
Yeah, it's that flip the other way. If I lose somebody, this team falls apart.
Yeah. I mean, the Lakers, I think, are in a similar boat.
Yeah.
That's why they need that third piece. Like if LeBron goes down, I think AD can make them respectable and vice versa. But if Kevin Durant goes down, I think the Nets are done. And if Kyrie goes down, I don't think Kevin Durant can carry that team. He's never been on a team where he's always had that other superstar.
Always.
Like his entire he had at one point he had Harden, Westbrook, and Ibaka.
That team.
Then he goes to Golden State.
Did not win a championship.
Unbelievable. Then they go to Golden State where he has Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry.
And he still claims he didn't go there for the super team.
He went there to get some rings so he could get some notoriety, and that's the only reason he did it.
Yep. So we're both taking the Lakers then. That season, the NBA season is set to start in January, but another season that is set to start in January is the NHL season. The Lightning coming off that COVID Stanley Cup championship, playing really, really good hockey. Tampa Bay finally got over the hump, got over that like Dodgers-esque curse of just being the good team that couldn't get there.
Speaking of the Dodgers.
Yeah, speaking of, how are they doing?
Hold on. Come on, load. It is 1-0. The Rays are up, and it is the bottom of the second.
All right.
How about Kershaw finally getting a big playoff win, dude?
Yeah. Dodgers had a decisive win last night. So the odds to win the 2021 Cup have come in, and it's the Avalanche at plus 800, followed by Tampa Bay, Vegas, Boston, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Washington, St. Louis. So kind of the teams we expected to be up there, but Colorado eclipsing the Lightning by 200 there. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I've seen other sites that have the Avalanche, Tampa Bay, and the Golden Knights equal at 750, but I get it. I mean,
this is the DraftKings list.
Oh, okay. I mean, the team we really need to be watching out for, and I'm saying it, and it's gonna work, Kevin. It's gonna work. The Detroit Red Wings plus 15,000. This is going to be just like Leicester City. Throw $10 on it.
DraftKings has them at plus 25,000.
Just like Leicester City, put $10 down on it. I guarantee it's the best return on investment you have next year. The Red Wings are making a push. Our draft was fantastic. Although it will take a little while to get them together, but
I will give Steve Yzerman all the credit in the world. Bringing him on as the general manager was so exciting for a number of reasons. One of them being when he was drafted in 1983, the Red Wings were about as bad as they are right now. And he helped that team so much grow into the team that they became, winning a number of four Stanley Cups over that period of like maybe 10 or so years, 25 consecutive playoff appearances. So if there's anyone I think that can take them out of the abyss that they're in right now, it's Steve Yzerman. He did it with Tampa Bay. The team that Tampa Bay just won with this year, he drafted and got most of those guys. So, I mean, I really trust what he's done. And the fact that we traded and got all these picks that we loaded up on this year, we had three or four second round picks this year that they did so well on. Chris Draper, old Chris Draper, being our manager of scouting, picked up some great guys, including his son, Keenan Draper, is going to be playing in the Red Wings organization. Super excited about that. But Lucas Raymond, the number one pick for the Red Wings, fourth overall, I think this kid has a chance to make the opening roster and not go to the AHL right away. So a lot of excitement in Detroit. And also, let's not forget, they now have a goaltender in Thomas Greiss. Getting Thomas Greiss from the New York Islanders on a 2-year deal. He looked really good in the playoffs this past season. Get Bobby Ryan, the veteran from Ottawa, getting Vladislav Nemesnikov from Colorado.
That's not a real name.
Getting him from Colorado and pulling him off of that powerhouse team. The Red Wings have built cheap free agents that are good, and also getting a number of draft picks that they've been able to turn into what we think are going to be successful players. So I'm extremely excited, even if we finish dead last again, because I know where Stevie Y is going with this. He's trying to field a competitive team without tanking, and I think that's a really cool thing and something that the city of Detroit.
We're not going to tank. We're going to win.
Yeah, I think we're going to do great.
Yeah. You have to have.
I don't think
mentality.
Detroit finishes dead last.
Browns mentality. We're going to win. On paper, we're not great, but we're going to win.
I think. Honest to
also,
God,
Justin is furious with you right now. You did say tomorrow. I just realized that.
But I said that yesterday.
No, you said that today, big guy. At 10:26 a.m.
Oh, so this was really your fault though, because you confused me.
Kev, I made it. I wasn't confused.
Yeah. Hey, we're both here, so that's all that matters. I don't really care that we got the script wrong on our text messages. I was a little confused. I was like laying in bed. I was like, wait, what's going on? But I'm here. So sorry, Justin. Put out a solo cast tomorrow, buddy.
But just talk bad about us for 40 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
he's
fine.
going to just complain about how we are the worst partners in the world to work with. No, but honest to God, I do think that this Detroit team will not finish dead last. I think they finish actually more bottom middle of the pack this year. I think that they've really grown since last season. But as far as my pick to win the Stanley Cup, my way too early pick,
honestly, I'm taking the Flyers. That's my way too early pick.
I'm going with the Vegas Golden Knights.
That was my second pick.
I gotta go with Vegas, man. This team has stuck around since their inaugural season, and they don't really have many household names, but boy, do they play well together.
They just keep coming back.
They're that team you can't beat away from the ice. So it's I do think Vegas has that shot to win it all. St. Louis Blues, another sneaky team. And also Dallas. Well, they kind of had a Cinderella season this year. I'm not about to sit back on them and say that their window's completely closed, although as you and I were talking about before the cast, it's closing.
Yeah.
So Dallas needs to make that push, I think, this year, or it might be over. But yeah, dude, I cannot wait for like full seasons again, hoping that we can actually have that.
Yeah, and also I don't care that there's not fans. I could care less.
Let's
take our time getting back to that if we have to, but as long as they're able to play, and from what the sounds of the NHL, all those guys did was drink and play hockey. They seemed like some people were sad to leave that bubble.
Yeah. Well, we won't do our last things last. We'll be nice to Justin since he's not here. We'll leave that little segment off. However, I want to leave you with this question, MJ. Who wins the 2020 World Series? Is it the LA Dodgers or the Tampa Bay Rays, formerly known as the Devil Rays?
I'm going with the theory that Tampa as a city is going to win this year. I'm going with the Rays.
I'm not on the city train, but I'm also going with the Rays here. I do believe that this team has played some incredible baseball, and I'm still not completely sold that the Dodgers curse is completely lifted.
No.
Until they win,
oh my gosh, no.
Until they get that final out, it ain't sold up for me yet. So I'm going with Tampa Bay as well. I might tune in a little bit to that now, actually.
Yeah, that's actually probably what I'm going to go. I'm going to eat, but I'm
okay,
probably watch that game.
And watch the World Series a little bit. But good to see you as always, my friend. This has been such a wonderful.
Guess what? There's no editing. There's no editing. You just have to hit send. It's done.
You know, it's kind of funny how much control you have in this chat where I just was like, oh, yeah, it's tonight. Because you were like, I'll be on in 5. So I was like, yeah, it must be on.
That's why I felt bad. I was like, oh, man, we said 8. I'm going to be late. I was like, and then you show up.
Well, you know, this is, there's got to be a reason. There is something in here that makes it his fault. We're just going to rely on that.
We'll find it.
All All right, y'all. Thanks. Give us that like and subscribe. Keep following MJ's rants on Instagram. I will take over for Justin's horrible Twitter updating. We are going to get as much content as we can. Next time you might see Justin. It all depends on how our text messages